Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be taking you through a revision of Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education 2021, the paper 1, and I'll be specific to the oral poem. The poem here is entitled The Beard by Proscovia Rwakyaka. In the pulpit, he swayed and turned, leaned forward, backward, to the right, to the left. His solemn voice echoed. Lowly the congregation followed. Do you love your neighbor? Meekly they bow at his keen eye, now examining a gray head. Heaving under her sobs, his heart leapt assured. Her sins weigh on her, so with her he chats outside. Weep not, child, you are pardoned. But sir, your beard conjured up the spirit of my dear God. The poem has been adapted from Poems from East Africa by David Cook and David Ribadiri, edition EAEP, Nairobi. The first question, the candidate is expected to identify and illustrate two sound features used in the poem. So one sound feature that is evident is alliteration. And looking at the fifth last poem, the fifth last line of the poem, we are able to see an example. There are these words that appear on the same line, his and heart, having the initial sound h, bringing about alliteration there. Then again, there is assonance. And we said that assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds in words that appear on the same line. And we have an example in congregation and followed. The sound O. Then again we have consonants. Consonance is always the repetition of consonant sounds in words that appear on the same line of a poem. But in this case, the consonant sounds appear at the middle or at the end. An example is line 2, leaned forward, backward. So the forward, backward, the sound d that come at the end. Then there is also the rhythm. And that one is illustrated by leaned forward, backward, to the left, to the right, to the left. So those statements are rhythmic, forward, backward, to the right, to the left. So those are just some of the examples of sound features that are found in this poem. Question 2. The candidate is expected to describe how you would say the following lines in the poem. And the first one is the line, do you love your neighbor? Remember, the rubrics are important here. The candidate should begin with I would, then continue. So in this case, do you love your neighbor? It's a kind of a yes or no question. It is a question that requires a response. So I would use rising intonation since that question requires a response. Again, I would face the audience looking from one side to the other with an inquisitive look. As I say, the line, do you love your neighbor? Another line, there are two lines, but sir, your beard conjured up, and the spirit of my dear goat. So, number one, I would use a rising, falling intonation. So I would use a rising intonation in the line, but sir, your beard conjured up, and a falling intonation in the line, the spirit of my dear goat. In addition to that, I would wear a surprised look while eyeing the preacher. So viewers, that is all that was tested on in the Kcse of 2021 under the oral poem. There is another concept that can be tested on in this section, and that is an oral narrative. So in an upcoming video, I will try to take you through an oral narrative, what is expected of you to do when an oral narrative has been tested on in this section. I have taken quite some time talking about this section because it is evident that quite good marks are present here, and it is an area that rarely misses, except in 2020, where at this part, instead of having an oral poem, an oral song, or an oral narrative, what was tested on was a riddle. So in most cases, it is something that is always there, and the concepts tested are always the same. That is why I have taken quite some time here for candidates to at least get something. Thank you very much, viewers. Until next time.